At World Remit, we understand what the journey is about, how it can sometimes take a little distance to bring us a little closer together. With ways to save more when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.
And today is 2021. So this is the first week of 2021. I'm so excited. So before we even get into the introduction and everything, let me just ask, what do you think about 2021? Brenda, what do you think about 2021?
So far, it's amazing. I just got back from vacation, so I'm trying to stay awake, but I'm doing my best here, girl.
Thank you so much. That is 2021. You started with holidays. Well done. Thank you. Karen, what do you think about 2021? I know it's only 2 days. I think it's 2 days now. This is the second day. Karen, you're muted, Karen.
Yep. Well, there's no other expectation. 2021 is going to be a blessing year. And so far, I started well yesterday. I started with blessing coming in. So it's going to be wonderful.
Well done.
I have
Thank
nothing
you.
else less, nothing less.
Nothing less. Thank you. Okay, so I'll ask Stephanie as well. Stephanie, what do you think about 2021?
Well, I think 2021 is going to be an amazing year as well. A year of creativity, a year of hope as well. So I'm really looking forward doing exciting things this year.
Okay, well done. Okay, Dr. Josephine, what do you think about 2021?
A little bit skeptic. I'm looking forward to see everything positive this year, though it's really in a dark shell at the moment, but we are hoping and praying that we get a better year than last year. That's all.
Okay, well done. Okay, so I'll go to Engineer Insada. What do you think about 2021?
I'd say of hope. I think the challenges that we've encountered in 2020.
Okay.
We're just hoping for the best in 2021. Start afresh, looking forward to a better, new, healthy year than 2020.
Okay, well done. So I'm finishing with His Excellency. What do you think about 2021?
Well, it's good to be with you guys. 2021 is like I can see a lot of pastors here today. They prophesying how 2021 is going to be the best year and all that. I tell you what, I'm so happy, first of all, that 2020 is being kicked out. I'm telling you, it's been a horrible and a really, really bad year for workers, for businesses, and a lot of people that have been trying to, get ends meet, it's been terrible. So I'm not happy with 2021 ending. I'm happy that 2020 ending, but I'm happy that 2021 has started. But we cannot say anything yet about 2021 because it's still a long road, and we don't understand how this virus is going to mutate, because now we're learning that it's mutating new variances, and that alone will give us concern. So I just put my fingers crossed and hope that it's a better year.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. So everybody watching today, I'll say Happy New Year 2021. Happy New Year. I pray it's a year of success, in prosperity, and God to just fulfill all the desires of your hearts, everybody watching. And today we have doctor in our midst, we have pastor in our midst, we have excellency in our mix, we have engineer in our mix, we have consultant, we have special strategist in our midst. So today we have so many different people in our midst. So I'll just let everybody introduce themselves, and I'll start with Brenda. So Brenda, please, if you can just tell us who you are and what you do as well. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Brenda Anzeze, and I lived in, born and raised in Kenya. Nairobi, Kenya. I lived in Texas and Ohio about 18 years. Moved back to Nairobi to build my country in 2018. Started my own firm, Brenda's Diaspora Consulting, to help bridge the gap between diaspora and Kenya. I had no plan to move. I just came to visit and I said, I'm staying. That's what happened. I'm looking forward to this meeting because I've been looking forward to joining Lydia for a while. So this is actually a great opportunity and to meet everyone else. So I'm looking forward today. So thanks.
Wow. So it's actually possible to just pack up your bags and move, Brenda. You make it sound so easy. I'm glad we have you in this forum. So people like us who want to move, but we are so skeptical, you're actually going to give us the tips that it's actually possible to come and develop our continent, Africa.
Sure.
So thank you very much, Brenda. So I'll go to Pastor Karen. Thank you, Pastor. Unmute yourself, please. Okay.
Thank you. Sorry, I was on mute. Well, my name is Karen Mujai, and I live in Dallas, Texas. I've been here over 20 years, and I have not changed states. It's Texas, Texas. And I am a Akwitu Director of Safe Haven and a pastor and the president of Exceeding Grace. And at the same time, I am standing here today for One Voice Consortium. So I carry many hats, but we'll come to know each other as we move on. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we have somebody from Obama's land. You know, they always say that once a president, always a president. But to me, once Obama is a president, he's always my president. I don't know about Trump, but I know about Obama. So thank you very much, Karen. Okay, so I'll go to Stephanie, please.
So hi everyone again, and Happy New Year again. I'm really happy to be part of you. And my name is Stephanie Asari. So I'm Ghanaian French. So that's not really common. I was born in France to Ghanaian parents, and I work as a global mobility consultant. So basically I help people who are trying to relocate abroad. And over the past 2-3 years, my focus has been helping people who want to relocate on the African continent.
Okay, so I think we're in the right forum then, because we have a lot of people who are thinking of migrating. So I think we'll be contacting you on how to start steps. Thank you very much, Stephanie.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'll go to Engineer Insider, please.
Hello there. My name is Iskandar. Born and bred in Tanzania until probably about high school. When I finished high school is when I moved to London. By then, the intention was to come here, get an education, and head back home. I think I've met a lot of people with the same story, but it's now 20 years. The degree has finished and I refuse to go back.
I think you should take a lead from Brenda, who just decided, you know, that's it, I'm done, I'm going. And if you need advice, Stephanie is also here. Right. She can help. Thank you very much. Okay, so I'll go to
the doctor. That's why I was smiling as soon as I think she just packed her bag and went. Because I've been trying to pack my bag for the past 15 years and it hasn't happened yet.
Wow. So I think 2021 will come with new things. So you might just decide to move. Okay, so Ibrahim, doctor, please.
Sorry. My name is Dr. Justine Abraham, so born in Zimbabwe. I live in England. I've been here for over 35 years and I'm just tired. I'm looking forward to go home. I've just started preparing, so I think it goes with the age as well as getting fed up because I've had enough. I've been a lecturer for health and social care for over 15 years in London, in and out colleges in London. So at the moment, I run my own organization, which is called Peaceful Global Women. And as well as I do care managing. I've got an organization for care. So that's what I'm doing mostly. The doctorate comes in philosophy. So yeah, I thank God for being here because I've managed to know quite a few things that will help me when I migrate to my own country. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And now, last but not least, I'll go to His Excellency, Steve Zomo.
Oh, come on, Lydia.
Onzono, Steve
Lydia.
Nash. That's my mentor, Steve Nash. I forgot to say that. I didn't want to say that. I wanted to leave that for last. But he actually, let me just say something. He actually encouraged me. You know, today people have seen me in Nollywood movies, and if it wasn't for him, I won't be in Nollywood movies. So he actually encouraged me. When I'm doing a lot of my projects, I always run to him. He's a very harsh man as well. He doesn't play, like, he doesn't sugarcoat anything. So sometimes when I don't want to be told off, I don't go to him, but he always finds me and say, I saw what you did. I'm like, oh God, here we go again. But he's a very good man. So His Excellency Steve Nash Ozono.
Thank you very much, Lydia. I'm not going to take it on you today, but I'll be very gentle, don't worry.
Thank you.
Anyway, thank you very much, viewers, and welcome to 2021. My name is Stevie Nash Ozono. I'm an IT engineer, and I'm an entrepreneur, businessman in London for over 25 years. And I've mentored a lot of people, Lydia inclusive, she knows that. And I've been always educating people to go back home. But a lot of people don't understand that it's very important, no matter how you live in Europe, from where you are from is where you are from. I'm a Nigerian, and I'm happy to be in the mix of Kenyans today. And she knows personally me, I don't look at barriers. I work with the Sierra Leoneans, I work with Kenyans, I work with Tanzanians, Spora, you know Spora, and probably some people from Tanzania will know Spora. Yeah. I've worked with Spora, I've worked with you, Lydia, I've worked with other Kenyans, I work with loads of Sierra Leoneans, you know, just to encourage them to make sure they look back home and make things happen for them back home. You know, so as an IT engineer, my experience has, you know, been so enormous and very good. I'm into music, I'm into filming, I'm into everything. I have studios, you know, I opened everything just to make sure people in diaspora are well catered for and mentored very well. But so far, the last project I've decided to do was to go into politics. And I just ran for the governorship election on September 19 in Edo State, Nigeria. And it's not been easy, but I learned a lot from it as well. And today I'll be very proud to actually talk to people in diaspora and encourage them that they should be part of the solution in Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Yeah. Thank you. So our discussion today is all about the role of the diaspora in the development of Africa. So it's not just Kenya anymore. We are going Africa because Africa is our continent. And as much as we are Kenyans, we are also Africans. And as much we are Nigerians, Zimbabwe, Ghana. So today we are capturing Kenya, Tanzania, Zimbabwe, Ghana, and Nigeria. So you can see that we are going big. We're not just concentrating on Kenya in itself, because we as the African continent, we bounce from each other, whether it's economically, whether it's politically, whether it's socially or culturally, we bounce from each other. Because you see, there's Uganda. Uganda is the one that gives Kenya light. And then we have Kenya, that we have a big port. And without Kenya, we know that Tanzania, Uganda, they use our port. So we do bounce from each other. So that is why we now have to concentrate in Africa as a general, not just a country by itself. So now today, as we talk about the role of diaspora developing in Africa, I'll start with Stephanie. So Stephanie, if you can just give us your point, and as also, we also have people watching on Facebook, so they're going to also, when they ask questions, I'm going to ask those questions and just say, choose one of you to answer their questions as well. And we also normally, the reason that's why I've tagged you, we always go back on Facebook as well and respond to people, so they know that we are all part of it, we're all together. So I've tagged every single person now. So thank you very much. So I'll start with Stephanie. So Stephanie, I'll open the discussion with you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So should I share my views about the the topic,
Yes.
or was there a specific question? Okay.
No.
So when it comes to the role of the diaspora, I think we should always think about that role beyond also remittances, because for the past years, we've always been talking about remittances sent by diaspora on the continent. And I believe there are so many levels of engagement when it comes to the diaspora. We can talk about trainings, skills, expertise, mentorship, so many things that the diaspora can actually offer, or I would say, contribute to the continent. So that would be my first point. Like, we should look also beyond remittances. It's there, but we should also look beyond that, because there is so much more we can do. And another point also is that we are doing together. You know, sometimes there is that feeling that those who are already on the continent and the diaspora is two different things. Sometimes you can get the impression that there is the diaspora and there are the people on the continent. And I believe we have also to understand that we are building Africa together. And that as members of the diaspora, we don't necessarily know better. What we just share what we have learned to contribute to the development of the continent. And we are doing that with those who are already on the continent. So that would be one of my points, because I know that sometimes I've worked in Ghana, for example, and I've worked with people that have never traveled. And sometimes they get the feeling that people from the diaspora just come and they want to show off, or they want to show that they know better. And so they have the feeling that we are against each other. And we are not against each other. We are together. And I think that's a point that we should always, keep in mind and point out, so that people can also understand that we are all in this together. Yeah.
So, sorry, I just want to ask a question because of what you've said regards to when diaspora, when they go to Africa, people always think, because it's not just in Ghana, really, even in Kenya, they say the same thing. So if they're actually, that's how they feel, then I think it's the whole of Africa as a continent. They feel like there's these two separation. There's diaspora there because this is what they come and show us, that they think they know it all. And then there's us that still live in the country. So would you say that that is the barrier, that is a big barrier for the diaspora to take their skills and their expertise and their mentorship to take it to Africa? Because of that, would you say that is the barrier because of this mentality of we are better than you?
I don't think so. I think it would be one of the barriers, but I think the biggest barrier that we have is also to build a system when it comes to the states, for example, to have a system that would enable someone to contribute easily. Because I believe that for most countries on the continent right now, when there is someone who wants to contribute, he had to do his search alone. I mean, he basically have to do it alone. You know, there is not really support. It's really hard to get support to actually do that. Maybe we have consulting has been built. I would say the past 5 years, you know, some people have built consultancies, and most of them, it's because they've done it. As Brenda said, she packed her bag and she went to Kenya, and then she decided to build our consulting. So it's really new to have consultants that can help you, or that can provide some support when it comes to moving or relocating on the continent. So I believe one of the barriers will also be, at the state level, to have really a structure, or to have an institution that would take care of that, that would map, that would collect the data about expertise needed, and then would also share that data. So as a member, for example, the diaspora working, I don't know, in the medical sector, maybe you know that in that region, they need doctors, or you can go and you can contribute. So I would say that there are many barriers, not only one. And yes, the state also has a role to play when it comes to collecting data and I would say sharing it.
Okay, thank you very much, Stephanie. Okay, so I'll move over to Brenda.
All right, thank you so much, Stephanie. That was an amazing view. And I like the fact that you're helping people relocate, because that's a big issue. For me, I just came and I did everything on my own, pretty much. But anyways, as far as what our contributions are as diasporans, I'll point out two things that I really think we should focus on. The first one is mortgage. Second one is sports. Mortgage, I mean, my background is banking for over 10 years in America. So when I came here, I realized we only have less than 100,000 mortgages in Kenya. So I felt the need to ask like what's going on with the system. And I realized we have less investors in mortgage. So my point is we need to invest more in mortgage bonds in Africa so we can build the interest rates to a point where they're lower interest rates. Because right now getting a mortgage is about what, 13%? So people are saying, why should I buy a house in Africa? Let me buy it in America or UK. We have less interest rates. If we can focus on getting more people to target mortgage bonds. We've talked about mortgage bonds in Africa for a while, but we want to see more people coming together and putting mortgage bonds together so we can get lower interest rates and more mortgages in Africa. The fact that in Africa, it's so hard to afford land and a house in your own country. You have to work so hard. I think there should be a change with that. So if we can work on, as opposed to just talking about it, let's focus on getting this diaspora bonds together. More investors like America, look at the interest rates. In America, they don't depend on interest rates, the government to give us low interest rates. It's the people that come together and form, you know, like this kind of groups to help lower the rates. The other issue I was going to talk about is sports. I moved back home and I was trying to get into the market. And I actually I became a Kenyan athlete, a strong woman athlete. But I realized there's no sports support, especially for women. So my first competition was last in 2019. And of course, okay, very few women, maybe about 6 to 8 women online. And there's no support. There's no people, I mean, people here think sports is running, like Kipchoge, that's sports. Sports is everything. There's strength sports, there's bodybuilding, there's all kinds of sports. So I feel like the government needs to support more sports, and people also have to come together. Like this year, we did like an event where we had like diasporans actually contribute to help the women participate and win the sports. So I think we need to focus more because sports is also income generating. So if we put more money into sports, especially women's sports generates more income than men's sports. We don't know that part, but that's a fact. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Brenda. Okay, so I'll move on to Engineer Instada.
Hello. It's a very challenging step to take if you've left the gap to be big. If you've left there for a few years, there are a few things that will need a consultant, like we have few of them here, to get over the hurdle. The first holiday I went after coming back, I came here around the year 2000. I didn't go back for about 8 years. When I went back, I had lost all my friends. They had disappeared. They had gone different directions. So I was new in my own neighborhood. That was only 8 years apart. Now it's 20 years. I try and go back more often, more frequently, but I pretty much have to find new friends if I go there. So I've lost that connectivity, which is not advisable for our young people that are coming up. Maybe they need to make sure that connection never gets lost. We're now getting connected maybe on the social medias, and then we're trying to get back to the group. So we went to school together. What are you doing? Where are you? And then the connection starts coming back slowly. So yes, those are the kind of challenges that we can have. And that's the reason why I came here and I said, let me finish my civil engineering degree and I'll go back home. Right, I finished, I said, okay, let me not go back. Let me get a little bit of experience here before going back. It started slowly and I don't know, I've had enough experience now and I'm still here. But I know the gap and then the gap that I'm causing to happen. And I know how much I'm missing just by being here. Because the fellow people that I was studying with high school in Tanzania, some of them are doing quite better in Africa than here, than where I am today. I have a good job title here. I work in HS2 now, the high-speed railway that's going to be joining London to Manchester. It feels good, sounds good to everybody. But in reality, I'm not the happiest man around. So yeah, you could achieve a few things here, mortgage here, you can drive a nice car there, but then do you have the freedom that our fellow Africans have when they migrate back? So that's the challenge on my side. And I look at it as, why is it not happening to many? The moment you feel you're not part of it, the moment you go back to your neighborhood and you feel like you're now a visitor, you're now a tourist, you no longer belong. That sense of belonging needs to be killed. I mean, the sense of belonging needs to be promoted more. We don't want to be feeling like we're tourists in our own countries, of which a lot of us are feeling it. You go back, you just feel like, all right, I came here for a week or 10 days. I've come to see mom, I've seen dad. And as soon as you've seen them, they're happy. You feel like, all right, when am I heading back? Which is very wrong. But how do we feel that? There are a couple of factors that are our challenges on it. In my own country, we're still holding on to one citizenship. So having a second citizenship is a crime in Tanzania. A lot of East African countries have crossed that, which is a very good advantage to them, because then they feel more welcomed. If I go home, I feel I'm sort of sidelined. You've backed away from our Tanzanian citizenship because you've gone to become British. Say, no, British, I did not become British. This is an ID for me to work there and earn my living. I did not at one point say I'm not a Tanzanian. If you look at my ID now, it says I was born in Tanzania, I was raised in Tanzania, I speak a better Swahili than many people, including the president maybe. But why would you take me out of it? Just because I wanted to better myself. If you gave me opportunities back home, I would embrace them. So there are challenges like that. We need to feel welcomed. We need to feeling a part of it. Mortgages like Brenda, she's talking about. Yes, if I had the chance in Tanzania, I would get those going. But guess what? In Tanzania now, if the things that are there already, like land, houses, even my dad's or family values, if I go back and I say I've changed, I've become a different citizen, it becomes a crime to own them. You have now to own them as an investor. You don't own them as a citizen anymore. So those are challenges on our end, of which a lot of East African countries have crossed it. I think Kenya have crossed it. They've got they allowed dual citizenship. Uganda have allowed it. A lot of few African countries. So we need to persuade our own countries or a few other countries to see the benefit of diaspora and see they will come in and they will do a lot more better and feeling at home than coming in as tourists.
And that's why I think it's good for us to come as an African continent, because every single one of us in our own country are facing our different challenges. Like now, you're talking about the dual nationality. In Kenya, we allow dual nationality already, but yet still we're not allowed to vote though. But there are some countries that are allowed to vote as much as they have dual nationality. So I think we all have our own different challenges that we need to come collectively and fight, whether it's fighting together or fighting each country at a time. But thank you very much for that, Engineer. Okay, so I'll go to Dr. Josephine, please.
Thank you. With regards to diasporans and development of Africa, since I've been here, I'm like my brother who has just come from Tanzania. Things are really difficult. As much as I want to be part of the economy of my Africa, it all depends as we go into country to country. Things are different, and it depends on the culture as well and how people receive you after so many years of being away. It depends on trust as well. Even if I try to do something, I've got to think twice. Am I doing it with the right people? Is this what people need? I know what I want when I go back home. I'm going to focus on health, which is part of the reason why I'm an author. I'm an author because I raise awareness. I try to make people understand some things which are quite complicated, because we're still a little bit behind, because we don't agree in so many things. That somebody has got a disability, people don't see. Some disabilities are visible, some are not. So it all depends on how people take you or perceive you when you try to do things. So I would love to go back home and raise more awareness on health, so that people do understand that we are all individuals, we are different. We've got to do things according to our capabilities and what we can manage. As a healthcare profession, I realized that we need to raise more awareness. As much as I want to build a business on health, I still need to collaborate with other professionals who are here and those who are back home. Like in Zimbabwe, where I come from, a lot of people are quite highly educated. Because of Mugabe. As we all know, Mugabe didn't want anybody to be there and be behind education-wise. So it's like we were pushed to read so much, even though we had to migrate and come to Britain and start, it was just a sort of conformity. It's not that we were not educated. We were educated, but changing of environment, you need to learn some other things, which I think they will benefit a lot if I go back home and try and educate other people and show that direction of what should I say, transparency. It would help a lot in development, because we are facing the problem mainly of trust, and our economies are not excelling just because of lack of trust. So even though I have a little bit of capital which I want to induce on certain projects, I have to think twice, is it gonna happen? Because if a little thing like building a house and trusting people and giving the money away and thinking that the house is being built, a lot of people in the diaspora, I've heard them crying because they've sent all their earnings back home trying to build a house and find that there's no house. Even if you send money for your family for a certain thing, sometimes it's being diverted, not because they want it, but because of the economy. It's quite difficult for everybody, so they are diverting things. So it's a question, mainly for me, the worry for my Africa is the transparency, the trust between whoever I'm going to be working with. Even though we collaborate, but we still have to trust one another. That's where I'm coming through, and to raise more awareness on health issues. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So I think when it comes to that discussion of sending money to home and somebody not doing what they have to do with it, or what you wanted them to do, is about that somebody suggested we need to create a system that can actually help us in that development, because like you said, they're not spending the money because they want to. Sometimes it's economically they are drained, they have nothing. So even somebody said last week that you send somebody who is struggling, they've not even eaten £100 and tell them, go and buy me a brick. And this person has not bought food for their family. Of course, they'll spend it. So we need to create a different system for that.
Yes.
So thank you very much, Josephine. And now I'm going to go to Pastor, to Karen, please.
Thank you, Lydia, for this opportunity. And I am glad to have heard all of you and the concerns. But there is something I want to say concerning that. Like we have learned it in a hard way when it comes to like you're sending money back home. We stopped. A lot of us have stopped. And I think by coming together the way we are coming together as one voice, we're going to learn a lot with each other. Everyone speaking, and then you will learn about, like, look at all the minds that are here and all the information that we are getting from all these people is a lot. I'm hearing from Brenda. I didn't even know about women athletics. I did not know. I thought you have to learn. You have to run or maybe play soccer. That is all the athletics I know. But so it's good. Whatever area you're doing is going to help us a lot. But let me say one thing that we have done, and when we realized that, like here in Diaspora, let me talk in US, we came together, like 30 Kenyans, and no, 300 Kenyans. We came together from every state, it's all over the nation. We joined together as a group, registered, and we started building apartments back home. We did not send the money to our relatives. No, we had already done that and we have already suffered. We took professionals, we took a lawyer from here, with a lawyer from Kenya who has a farm in Kenya to corroborate for us when we are buying the plot to make sure that all due diligence is done. We've started building those apartments. If anybody knows Kitusuru, it's one of the richest neighborhood in Kenya. So that is where we are building 86 apartments. They are all high rise with everything we have in America. Now, looking at when you're dealing with professionals, everything is they build, we send somebody, when it is satisfied, that is when we pay. So I think being in diaspora, we have learned a lot because of all what we have gone through. And I think that is what we need to do. Collaborate with professionals, like now Brenda has a consulting firm. Don't do relatives. We have done relatives, and honestly, if you're giving them $100,000, that man doesn't have 1,000 Kenya shillings. Do you think he will eat first, or he will help you? So when we came to ask all those questions, that is when you know, yes, you can put your relative there to be a manager or something, but we need to go professional and use professionals whenever we want to do something. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good system that you, in America, you put in place that really works. And that's a system that I think we should adapt. Everybody else should adapt that system. Okay, so I'll go to His Excellency, Steve Nash.
Hello, Lydia.
Hey, hello.
Sorry, you probably might notice that I was off for a little while. I think my battery ran down on the Surface Pro, so I had to switch on to my phone. And I hope I'll be able to hold my phone for the rest of the hour. Anyway, we are actually talking about the role of diasporans, right? In Africa. Now, to me, who are these diasporans? Is it just we in America, or is it just we in London, or Australia, or I mean, the European country? Because sometimes I've had discussion of this sort a lot with a lot of us here, even in London. We've set up diaspora and this diaspora and dance, Nido man, Nido Ben Cup, Nido everything. You know, who are the diaspora? Is somebody in that left Nigeria and stays in South Africa a diasporan, or somebody that stays in Kenya a diaspora? Do we tend these people to be diasporan? So we need to be very careful on this diasporan issue as well. To be sincere, from time immemorial, even in the 50s, even in the 40s, I know a lot of people that from America in the UK here that have always come, walk, and bring back, you know. So they have always been a role of diaspora to the African continent, you know. So if we are very careful here, we'll understand is to say, okay, what are we looking for a new way, a new solution for people in diaspora to participate in Africa? Because we've already been playing a lot of role. If I ask all of us here now, in the last 20 years, we probably have been sending money, because I remember one of the first ladies said it's not only about remitting money. Exactly. You know, there have been so much people, even the last lady that spoke now, she's talking about setting up charities, setting up facilities, they're building this, building there, and all that. I'm telling you, we have always, in one way or the other, even me, myself, I have contributed so much as a person in diaspora, but my problem is, are we limiting ourselves to the diaspora in foreign countries like Europe and America? This is my question, one. And one other thing is, so many people leave Europe. According to my engineer, he said he don't know how to go back there. He goes back as holiday and he finds himself as a visitor. Right. If you want to go back and do anything in Africa, the first thing I always tell everyone to do is to do a research. Number one, find out, you know that, Lydia, you know me. I would not allow anybody I know to go back to anything and do not have the ability to research what they are going into. The cost, who is involved. In Africa, as I noticed for my last election, is you do not need many people. You need few people in order for you to achieve anything. That is my point. You do not need many people. Look for the relevant people each time you're going to operate or do anything in Africa, especially where I come from, Nigeria. So, to add more to this, what else are we talking about? We grew up in Nigeria or in Africa without patriotism. All we know is, oh, uncle, listen, and my next door neighbor has gone abroad, or auntie, this is gone abroad, is the one that built their house. Now, everybody now think that they will just leave and go abroad. Yes? And most of this problem is if we start teaching patriotism in Africa, a lot of us here in Europe will now start thinking that we need to go back and do a lot. And if you talk to some people here in London, I tell you, they are not interested. They'll be thinking, oh, I'm going to waste my money. I'm going to do this. But here in Europe, have you not wasted your money? If you look at one or two things that we've been doing, we've probably wasted all our money. So our role is very important in Africa. But how do we get these people to go back is the question, and is the problem. You know, that's what I think. You know, we've got a lot of professionals. We've got a lot of people that do a lot that can bring back a lot to Africa. I remember I was listening to, what's his name now? This musician, what's his name now? I forgot it. That sang I'm Locked Up. It's from Senegal.
You remember?
Akon.
Look at what Akon is doing. He's even telling all the African people, even the black people in America, he said, look, come back here. You are spending so much money. You will use half of that money and make more money in Africa. You think he's a fool? No, he's not. He knows because he's been there. He's come back and he's doing a lot for Africa. So that is an example of what the diaspora, the importance of diaspora can do in Africa, because he is setting an example that you will make all this money in Africa and you drive all the big cars. What would you do back home? I mean, I remember I was growing up in Warri and I saw a lot of my uncles come back from America. They said, I've been to America for 45, 50 years. I've had enough. I want to come back home. And he said, Uncle, oh, why do you want to come back home? He said, oh, when you come, you will know what I'm talking about. And exactly, I got to that point now in London. It's like, I've had enough. I've had enough. And this enough will be the precipitation of me now getting into something new, going back home. Already, I've been doing that. I've been motivating a lot of people. I've set up so many mentorship. I've set up so many charities, you know, but it's not enough. But I need to be known and see that my actions are real. This is why I'm back home as a politician. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. I just want to say thank you to all the people who are watching, all the people on Facebook today. Thank you very much for coming in, for joining in today, Saturday, the first Saturday of 2021. So whatever happens, we'll remember when we get to 2022, you'll remember where you were the first Saturday of 2021. You are here watching us and listening and participating with us together. So I want to say thank you. So people who are watching, please, like we always say, like, share, And also we want to hear your views and your comments. All your views and your comments are really, really welcome. Thank you very much to all the people who have told me they've shared already, but share again, share, so that everybody else can get to hear what our discussion is all about today, so that next time they can also participate. So just to read just few things that some people have said, just few, not everything. I think the biggest challenge is our mental attitude. Home and away, there's a definite them and us divide. So I think that's Esther was just talking about what Brenda had said before.
Yeah.
And thank you very much, Karen, for actually going and taking your time to respond to that. And then I have somebody else said, I have experienced that the diaspora versus others, even on WhatsApp groups, to a point where everything you say is challenged as though you are acting the know-it-all. The stereotype is a challenge. So stereotyping is a challenge. And someone said, there is fulfillment that you can only get from being among your people. Most people in the diaspora tend to maintain an image of satisfaction and fulfillment, but there's always a gap. I've never felt at home in Europe, but I've decided to live in the moment, even as I plan for the future back at home. Someone says, mortgage update is low here due to a gap. What is an offer versus affordability? I hope in Tanzania, they can allow dual citizenship to tap the diaspora skills as well. So those are just few, some people have comments, some people have questions, some people have just their views, but regardless, we say thank you to everybody who is watching. And once again, please share, like, and comment. Comments are really welcomed. So we're moving on. Thank you very much, everybody, for your views. So I'll go back to Brenda. Again, I'll go back to Brenda. So Brenda, just to tell us if you have any more points or views, or you want to answer any questions that anybody said, or you want to add on anything that anybody has said. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Karen, that was really great. When you talked about how you guys got together and build the apartments in Kichosiro. I go there a lot, so I know the hard work you guys have put in. I do encourage everyone to do that. I know it's hard, like you said. Trying to trust people in Kenya has always been an issue. I mean, I get that from a lot of my clients all the time. But like you did, going through the professional way is the best way you can, and you'll never regret. As long as you have the right people at hand, I think that's the best way to save your money. Let the money work for you instead of your money disappearing. I wanted to point out how do you pronounce his name? Iskander, right?
Yeah.
Iskander, right?
Yes,
yeah, I don't want to, I want to give you more encouragement, like how I moved home, so you can just feel a bit more, better. So when I came, actually, I got laid off in Dallas in 2018 March. I left Dallas right away in April 2018. Went to Dubai to see if, hey, look for a job and see what happens. And I was there for 6 months. And you know how it was, if you have an American passport, you can get a job right away. But guess what? The Dubai UAE market was changing. They're now, Arabs are getting more educated and they don't want to hire more foreigners. So things have changed, So I left Dubai within 6 months and came to Kenya saying, oh, maybe I can just go back to the States after December, because I came back in September. So I'm thinking by January of 2019, I'll be back in the States to find a job. But when I got here, I saw different opportunities and I was like, maybe I should just stay for a few months and see how things are going to work for me. That was September 2018. Do you know what I did? I started selling avocados and bananas to we call them mama burgers here. They're like little kiosk owners. I was applying around the neighborhood, just to try and see, because I'm used to making money, right? So I felt like a gap and I didn't want to ask anyone for money when I moved home. So I was like, let me just try something, right? But I felt a bit discouraged one time because one of my trucks that came, supply trucks came, every avocado was rotten. And I was told it's because of the cartels. They're trying to take over your business or whatever. But anyway, so I said, okay, fine, I'm going to continue with my supply business. But I said, let me form my own company. I saw a gap. I saw a need for help in America, in other parts of the world where Africans or Kenyans need help. with their projects back home. So it was a more efficient way for me as well to develop my own consulting firm. But I still do a bit of farming here and then supplying, because in Kenya, you cannot survive with one income. Multiple streams of income. It's difficult to penetrate the market again, because you're still new. Everyone's looking at you like a new person in the market. The only way I was able to get in was because I support a lot of the sports events in Kenya, bodybuilding for men and women, strength athletics. So a lot of people have, in return, support my business as well, Diaspora as well. It's just about connecting with different people, having the right people around you, participating in the community, both back and forth. You must do that. You cannot be all about, I need this, I need this. You have to give yourself a lot. So that's part of what I can tell if you want to move back home.
It's so funny that you're talking about cartels in Kenya, because the other day here in this forum, Weldon was actually talking about cartels in diaspora who are preventing things from moving. So I guess it looks like we have cartels everywhere. So we just have to be careful how you walk, where you step. So, okay, I'll go to Stephanie next. Please, Stephanie.
Yes, I have 2 points that I would like to share. The first one, just to go back to what Mr. Nash said about the definition, who is part of the diaspora and who is not. So there is this definition from the African Union that says that people from the diaspora are people of African origin living outside the continent, irrespective of their citizenship and nationality, and who are willing to contribute to the development of the continent and the building of the African Union. So that is one of the definitions that you can find. And also, second point is the issue of trust. So most people don't trust people back home, but they also don't trust the government as well. I remember I'm part of the Diaspora organization here, and we conducted a poll some years back, and 90% of people, they say that they don't trust their governments. They were from African countries, and they say they don't trust their government. So I think the issue of trust is a really big issue that we have to sort out. So how do we build trust? Because to build a nation, you also need trust, right? Or to build a continent, we need trust. And I think one of the idea that I can share with you is, when it comes to the government, it's necessary for our governments to also work with the private sector and with the civil society. For example, Brenda as a consultant, and I think she can share her expertise with Kenyan government, or maybe she's already doing so. But what I'm trying to point out is that we have to work together. It cannot just be the government alone helping people to move back, but it has to be the government, the private sector, the civil society working together to support people that want to move back, and to make sure that these moves are effective, that they produce the results. And at the end of the day, to also get data about these results, because data is a real big issue when we talk about the continent. Sometimes we don't even know how many doctors do we need every year. We don't even know maybe if people, they move back, what are the results, And so I think data is a really big issue, and working together will also help to collect this data and to monitor it. Yeah, to monitor and to make sure that when people move back, we can confidently say that there has been a change in that sector. They have done this, they have done that. And this can also encourage others to come back, because they would feel, the issue of trust will no longer be another barrier.
And just to add on to diaspora as well, because last time somebody asked the same question, that who is actually diaspora? And somebody did say that diaspora is anybody who is out of where they're supposed, even if you're within your own country, like if you're within Kenya and you're a Luo, for instance. So that means that a lot of Luos, their place is always in Kisumu, is known that they're in the western part. So if you're a Luo, but you're living in maybe a Kikuyu land or Maasai land, in that place, they see you as a diaspora, because you're not actually living where you're supposed to be. So diaspora is actually, was the definition.
That is not correct.
But, Karen, gone.
I think that is not correct. The way the Kenya government view diaspora is anybody who stays away from Kenya. Whether you're staying in Tanzania or Uganda, but not within the Kenya. If you even if you are in East Africa, you are outside Kenya, you are a diasporan. So if you look at the time we are voting, when they talk about a diaspora, they don't give us, they call us Maju. Those people in London, those people in France, Europe, and America, they don't give us time to vote, but they give Tanzania, people from East Africa, you know, if you are in Tanzania, Uganda, they vote, and when the votes comes in, they come in as diaspora. But when you're in Kenya, like now, I was living in Kitale, I'm not a diaspora. Diaspora is outside Kenya.
So your vote still comes as a Kenyan?
You come as a Kenyan because where you are is where you register. Like now, some people are working in Nairobi. They register in Nairobi County. So you are a Nairobian. So you are not a diasporian.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for that. Okay. Thank you very much, Karen. Okay. So I'll go back to Engineer Instead.
Hello.
Yeah.
Right. Just to add to what's been said already. Akon, a very good example used. The development that Karen and her partners are doing in Kenya, I saw it somewhere on I think I was seeing the video of the development, and I was almost brought to tears to see it. That was very good. So yes, these things are very possible. All we need is that trust, transparency, and a secure system. If we either generate it ourselves here and send somebody as a consultant to be on the ground, to see how things are being done on the ground and receiving the feedback, which is accurate and timely. The one thing that's very good for people that have left the country to come and live either in Europe or in America, we've come to know the importance of time. Our fellow people back home, they do know the importance of time, but I don't think they take it as serious as we do here. Of which sometimes you ask for small feedback and somebody feels like they can give you the feedback whenever they want to. But you cannot make the next stage, you cannot make the next step, you cannot make the next transfer unless you know you've been given the feedback that you needed or you see the progress that you wanted to see. So maybe it's to create organizations like what Karen and fellow friends have done and be able to send a professional down and to oversee these things, to take away the fear, and to bring people into, to make them responsible for what they do. If I send money to my uncle and he doesn't build my house, he builds his house, and I send the money for him to get some few bricks on my property, he ends up paying for school fees for his own kids without telling me. But if they tell me the truth, I will still pay the school fees probably. But if they take my funds and transfer them to something else, they need to be accountable for it. They need to be brought into justice to say, listen, you've done pretty much the same as any fraudster will do.
Yeah.
Being too soft to them, they feel like they will do it over and over again every day. And tomorrow they'll do somebody else. So accountability, and plus trying to get to the government to give us the incentives. We can offer much more back home. They sent us here to train, to become better of what we do. The least we could do is go back and hand back the knowledge we've got, the experience we've got, and develop our own countries. We can be appreciated much more for doing very little back home, but do a lot more here, and probably
not even be noticed.
Not even getting. Yeah. So yeah, the government is to allow us to go and give back what we came here to train for. Give us that secure system that we can feel safe to come home, and we want to go home. Being here, even if I stay here 50 years, I'm not 50 years yet, but we've got people that have been around, have been outside more years, and you've still been called a foreigner. no matter how many years you're going to live in London or America, you're still going to be called a foreigner.
Yeah.
That's right.
Who wants to be called that for the rest of his life? So at some point, I would rather be home than just sit under a mango tree and just enjoy a simple life after all this havoc that I've gone through. But we need those incentives and secure systems.
Okay. Thank you very much, Engineer. Okay. So I'll go to His Excellency.
Yeah. I think everyone has spoken beautifully. And as an IT engineer, a man that strive in IT and database and everything, my first project I gave to my state was database. I just remember, I just heard Karen. Is it Karen or Stephanie? Yeah, Stephanie. Yeah, Stephanie talked about database. Even in the national level, I still propose database even to the national level. But you see, it is not going to work if we don't have a proper database of people that are in the country, people that have gone out, and people that are coming back. There must be a way in which we are monitored. Even right now, at the moment, Nigeria has got a lot of database for passport, database for driver's license, database for telephones, and now there's a new one going on right now that people are even angry with, is the NIN, the National Identity, whatever, is quite new now. And if you don't have it, they will switch off your mobile network. You have to register. So we in diaspora now, or people in diaspora, how are they going to sort this problem out about their NIN in Nigeria? That nobody's talking about that. You understand me? And we've got a role to play in Nigeria or in Africa. Because if you look at it, we in diaspora, we are looking at ourselves as experts because we've actually come out from Africa with our ideas. Then we have added more level of acute intellectuality into what we already have. So if we are going back to actually give our expertise to the country, to the politicians, to the business people, and to individuals that want to start their business. I mean, in this panel today, you can see we have people that are already doing that, which is fantastic. So there is a lot of barriers, and these barriers need to be conquered by trust. As I've been hearing in the panel now, there's no trust, then that cannot happen. If there is trust, then all of us will go back and actually implement one or two projects or one or two ideas, and that will work. And these can only be run through a central database. Each country in Africa need to have that database that will help them in their health sector, help them in policing, help them in education, and help them in tax. You get me? And these can be done, with ease. But how do we do that? Some of these old politicians in Africa, they are still in the analog age. They are not ready to change, because if you change to digital, that means you're taking food away from them. This is what I experienced. They don't want to hear it. They believe that what is digital? What is this? Why do we need this? Because once you implement that, you are taking food away from them. You're taking all the loopholes where they eat money from. So I'm still thinking this Zoom that we are in today is very important for us to actually share this information and say the role of diasporans are very important to actually change the mindset of the Africans. But if we do that, we should do it with caution, because they are looking at us as somebody said in this forum now, we know it all in diaspora. Exactly, that's how they view us. But how do we now integrate with them matters a lot. We need to learn how to integrate with them, from the grassroots. Set up something, let people know you, let them see you come every 1 month, call them, talk to them, discuss with somebody that is your grandma, so that he will disseminate that information you are getting across to them if you are still abroad. If you go back, let them see you, organize, little get together with them. If not, they will not trust us because they see us as cash cows. You might have an idea and you bring it in and say, oh, I want to bring this to Africa. I want to bring this to my country. You bring it, those people there, all they do and think is how to get your money, tell him so that if he stays 1 or 2 months, he's tired, he will go back. I've had a lot of friends buy containers of goods they want to go to sell, containers load of businesses they want to go do in Nigeria, and they run off because they will be threatened. They'll make life miserable for them that they will end up leaving everything for one person that will just collect everything. So how do we solve this problem? Is the trust that we need to build among them and make them see us that we are not just coming out from abroad to take away their projects or their money, because some of them, they are quite intelligent as well. Sometimes we too, we are abroad, we think we know too much than these guys. I tell you now, because the advent of internet, these guys know a lot more than most of us in Europe. Trust me, So it is very important. The role of diaspora is very, very important. And I hope that we in diaspora will actually be ready to be part of our native Africa or our native country, because a lot of us are not interested. It's very few that would want to go and take the bond or the branch of their country, be it Kenya, be it Nigeria, be it anywhere, Somalia or anywhere, because they see all this problem on the news every day, wanting, happening, kidnapping, killing, and all that. They feel really afraid, But me, I just told myself, one can only die once. When I went for my lecture, nothing that they didn't tell me. They even in my hotel, they were telling me, oh, I wish you don't come. Or there's so many things that I was told. I didn't look at anyone. I just came out, drove my car, go and do my election campaign, go from one village to another, see all the kings and everybody. I wanted to be known. I was not afraid of anybody kidnapping me or capturing me, because I got to the point that I just felt, that's it. It has to happen. If I'm not part of this system, then I'm part of the problem. This is how I actually made up my mind and decided to join that race in Nigeria, And I looked at the two parties and I thought, well, there are so many cash cow big guys in the two parties. Then I went to a brand new party that was not known, And funny enough, under 2 months I campaigned because of the COVID-19. I was so impressed that people were shocked that I could even come out. Nobody know me. Nobody know my party. But today they know my name. They know my party just because of the hard work. So it is very important that we put our interests first. What do we want to go and do there? What do we need to take there? And who are the people are we thinking that we want to improve their lives? These are the things that matters first before you start thinking about going back to Africa. I know our role in diaspora is very important, but we need to sit back and talk to the experts and talk to people that have already gone so that we can be able to be part of Africa. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I think that know it all can actually be good and beneficial if implemented with kindness and wisdom.
Exactly.
But it's only that we as diaspora, we just want to, some of us, and that is why there's that big gap as well. And that is, like Stephanie said, it's not the only barrier, but it's one of the barriers as well. They know it all, and now they don't want to hear what you have to say. But it can actually be beneficial, and if it's implemented with kindness and wisdom. So just before I come to Josephine, to Dr. Josephine, before I go to Doctor, I just want to read some comments as well, or some messages that some people said. Someone said, Africa, what a tricky question. Someone said, Africa is being killed by the leadership, useless, and Nagasaki, Hiroshima can be done on a congregation of African leadership. Africa will not change anytime soon. However, supporting to pick the right pathways, we can support the growth of the normal citizen. Someone said, I'm sick home, safety, security, and basic living amenities were not there. People around you have different mindset back home, but I think I just have to go back and farm for my community. And someone just replied to the person who said Africa will never change. Just said that is a big, that's a bit drastic. So that was just an answer to somebody there as well. And well, talking about service delivery, things are working there. I witnessed this with my own ears, and I do agree with you. There is a need to change the culture and completely remove the beggar's attitude. People need to be taught true and real hard work, but this cannot work as long as there are political thieves. Again, the way politics are funded in Kenya or stroke Africa needs a fundamental change, which is the truth. And then someone was talking about Rwanda, that in Rwanda things have changed because we're actually talking about Africa, but someone said, no, that's not true. In fact, in Rwanda, because there's only 2 tribes in Rwanda, the tribalism there is really, really bad. There's still so much hate between the 2 tribes. So lads from one tribe is only the tribe that is ruling that benefits the more. So we see that in Africa in general, apart from greed and the government corruption, there's also tribalism. So much in Africa is all about tribalism and greed, and there's no trust. There's so much. And we, as people living in diaspora, I'm so impressed with what Karen said, that 300 of them came up together collectively and managed to have a system in Kenya that worked, and they actually build houses in Kenya. And that is a step. Even though people say this cannot be done, things can be done. There's nothing under the sun that cannot be done. It's just how do we now implement everything, single thing. We need to have a system of how we implement everything, and things can be done. So I also disagree with Lois, who said that things cannot be done in Africa. Of course we can. There's a lot of things that can be changed. So I'll go to Dr. Josephine, please.
Thank you, Lydia. You should know my name by now.
I know.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It has been really a good debate because I've been listening to everybody who was speaking, and I'm so much encouraged and touched with everyone's contribution, which is quite good for Africa, and that's what we need. Let me just go back into a little bit of history. Thomas Sankara of Burkina Faso, when he got into power, he talked of building. He talked of education, to educate his people, create some conditions, allow democracy. The main and major issue of our African continent is to allow democracy, which is quite hidden in some way, that we are not free. Even if we have some strategic plan to build, it goes back again into trust. Are we trusting our governance? Are they really up for a change? His Excellency was talking about changing things, and it's a challenge with them, because when they look at you coming and suggesting something for economic recovery, and you definitely know that where we are, things are not working properly, you are found to be a threat at some times with the things you come up with, which we know very well, having lived more into this type of the world and having worked with our other friends here, we have learned quite a bit, and we have known that to increase our economy internationally experience, we have to measure everything and leverage what we know as in terms of development. We have to put it into practice we have to maximize the employment levels so that things can change. But who are we dealing with? Not many of them want us to bring that idea of what we have learned into system, because they've got so many of them with corrupt systems, which they cannot change overnight, because they are eating through that system. And that system to be changed now, so that's where I find myself to becoming an individual. When I want to go back home, I know collaboration works, but does it work when I only collaborate with people who are coming from here with the same mentality like me? Or do I have to go and mix with my friends? I know there are a lot of educated people home, but they are backed with politics. So even if I want to do something to change it, it takes a little bit of time. Like in my own country, let's say you've gone with an idea, and this is the idea, you've put it on the table and you're practicing whatever it is. The government has its own way of taking 3/4 of it, actually. So you tend to be afraid or not to want to do or to inject your cash into something that you know that is going to disappear at some point. So what I'm saying to all the diasporans, when you really want to do something, do like my sister who left Texas and went to Kenya and settled, and do it yourself and do the hands-on. Otherwise, with us being here and having to send people to do things for us, it's not going to work. It's better I go and work with the enemy. I know that he's going to take everything from me whilst I'm there managing my stuff myself. I've been here well enough, fair enough. I've learned what I needed to learn. I've seen, and I've learned, even if it comes to agriculture, mining, I've seen a lot of things happening. And there are some people who are there who are managing through their other way of the loopholes, because they're somehow associated with the politicians. Mm-hmm. That's how they are managing to go through some of the system. If I go myself today just to say that I want to do this without any connection in the government, sometimes it doesn't work. And they are following you behind. They want to see, how are you doing this? They have to find a fault on you to say that, oh, this is not going right. Or they start investigating on you. She has come here, but she has brought any English mentality. She has brought Western mentality. Is she really one of us? They start digging on you instead of digging or learning what I've introduced to them. So it's a bit tricky. But how I see it working is to go there, face it, hands-on, and try whatever you want to do. Because of the policies, some of the things we are not able to do them, because if you don't know the system whilst you are here and try to engage yourself into a business back home whilst you are not there, you'll be very lucky to be successful. So I say hands up again to my sister in Kenya, those who are building block of flats, because they've now strategically done it. And they've got a system which is working for them, which I really urge anyone who is up here to start doing that. Because I have my little savings, which I want to go and do something. But who do I trust? Who do I know? Am I trusted when I get there? I haven't been home for 35 years. Half of my life I've lived here. I'm 60. So half of my life I've lived it here. Now I'm going there to start something. I haven't been going there every day. So just going there after a long time is another story. So you really need to make up your mind. Are you going, or you're just going to be a visitor and come back? So if you're doing a business and going to be a visitor and come back, be ready to count your money gone. So I think the best thing is to just do the hands-on, go there and do it. This place, if I may say, It's a place of mind-opening, eye-opening, and learning some of the systems that have worked for this nation, which we want to implement to our Africa so that things change, so that we are seen as people who have a strategy, and we know how to leverage our finances. How do we leverage in what we know, and how do we keep it? So it's a little bit tricky. We know what we are doing. We know how we want to do it, but it cannot be done when you are not there. That's all I can say. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Now we see that another barrier as well that we face in Africa really is who you know and who you don't know, and who you know where, and who is on top and who is who. Because especially going back to Brenda, when she even went back to Kenya, she was doing an avocado business. And one day she had told me this before, and then she just said it now as well. And all her lorry, wherever she brings her avocado was, the avocado, they were all rotten. How do you even explain that all the avocado in the van, every single avocado was rotten? And she had a phone call, and it was just the cartels. What's our cut? And these are people who they're super rich already, but the little that you have, that's still they want half of it as well. And I know somebody have mentioned what you just said, Ibrahim, about who you know, who you were, and also about Thomas Sankara, because we know that he was assassinated because he was trying to bring a positive change, which a lot of people don't like. So cartels are everywhere, especially in Africa, big time. And it's who you know and who you know where. That really works as well. So that's another barrier that we are facing as an African continent. So thank you very much, Doctor, for that. And now I'll go to Karen before I can go and talk to our Facebook people. But before I talk to Karen as well.
Sorry, Lydia.
Yes.
Can I just say something? Josephine Abraham, yeah?
Yes.
Yes. She just nailed it all. But there's one other thing that we should put into context as well.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot use the same FERC that we use in UK or in Europe to FERC problem in Africa. We should design our own way of solving our problems too. Because what works here cannot be the same thing that would work in Kenya, Nigeria, or any part of Africa. We should bear that in mind as well. You know, for example, this COVID going on now, you know, a lot of conspiracy theories have been going around saying, oh, they thought Africans were going to die of so many COVID and they are ready to come and help us. But they eventually found out that Africa is not dying. So what are they doing now? They want to force us to use us as guinea pig, right? To probably take the injection and see if it will still work or not. But what I'm urging the government of Africans to be doing is look at internal situation, do your risk assessment, talk to your experts, see if what is going on in Europe can be used as the same remedy to actually solve our problems. But if you look at it, this COVID-19, it's an eye-opener that it does not match. So we should bear that in mind as well. And our people in diaspora should please disseminate information to Africans to let them know as well what we know here that is real and not real. Thank you.
Thank you so much, His Excellency. Okay, thank you. So I'll go to Karen, please.
Okay. Let me start first and from what His Excellency said. Number one, I want to commend you for going back to Africa, going to Nigeria and campaigning there and coming back alive. It is God, I'm telling you. Especially
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'll say that from bottom of my heart because I know that was not easy. Yeah, you know, he said like he got to a place where he said whether they're gonna kidnap him, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
So that was a really, really brave moment. Anyway, now Africa is not going to be changed by you going there. His Excellency said you need to do some research. Because like after staying here over 20 years, staying there just seeing 35 years, you are a stranger to your own country. So many roots, so many, even the people you knew when you were living there, the schoolmates, 35 years, they have grown. They have different mindsets. And so when we come here, we come to a system whereby we see what is happening. You're given a voice. They read, okay, like in America, if they arrest you, they read you a Miranda warning, okay, telling you you're being arrested for this and this and this. When you go back to Kenya, they stop you anyhow and search you anyhow. And so if you try to get that attitude we have here, why? Before you know it, they are whooping you. And you know, here, nobody is going to slap you because they have cameras. And if they slap you, it's something that is going to go viral. So going back to Africa right now and coming from here and thinking that we can go change it at once, it's not going to happen. It's a hard job. And let me tell you what I think. My opinion is, unless Africa start getting those people, educated people, very educated people, not the way they say a Form 4 or a bachelor degree person to be in power. Until they get those people, engineers, I mean it, those people who are technical savvy, those who knows what technology is today, in power, in those ministries. Don't go get your uncle who is 90 years, who is 75 years, uneducated, and you want them to run that ministry, working with people who are learned, and he doesn't even understand the game. So until we get there as Africans, until the young people wake up and vote, young generation, wake up and vote, and don't vote those 77-year-old guys, please. Go vote somebody that can know what is happening today. Somebody who knows Twitter. Somebody who not like Trump. Don't go there and abuse Twitter to abuse people. No, I mean somebody who understands those technology, social medias. Somebody who knows that he can go to social media and speak to more Kenyans than going to a stadium. We have to have those leaders in place first. We have to have those leaders that will know how to help people. Now, when I was in Kenya before I came here, and I'm talking about over 20 years ago, I used to sell maize. And what made me run away is because when we went to buy those maize, maybe let me say like 800 a bag. So these cartels, because they have their own trucks, they are not hiring truck like I do as a middle person. They buy the maize. If it is 800, they buy it 770. That is $30 less. I mean, they buy it like 830. That is $30 more. Do you think somebody will sell you at 800 and there is somebody buying at 830? So they start beating you from there. Now, if you try to go to 830, then you're going to get a loss because you're going to hire a truck. That is how they finished the middlemen the middle class in Kenya. So you see, when Brenda went home, she said her initial plan was not Kenya, was Dubai. Then she went to Kenya and decided, oh, I think I can do this because I don't want to stay without money. She started the avocado. And that is where you saw His Excellency say about research. When you start, there are people behind that business that control that sector. They cannot let you go forward. So, and that is the problem we have in Africa. Those are the things that need to be addressed before you leave here and go home. You got to know whatever you're going to do, who is back there? What insurance can you put for those buildings? Because you will build and they can come and burn it down. That's Africa. That's Africa. We are our own enemies because they just want you to be sending them money. But if we can have a person from diaspora in the government, straight somebody who has been living here and be a spokesman of diasporians, maybe there are some policies that will change. Maybe, especially me, I always get concerned on the police side. The way they behave, the way, okay, let me stop about that and talk about our brother that talked about Tanzania. Now, it is good we have a dual citizenship in Kenya. But that is also tricky, guys. It's also tricky. And if you ask me how, Lydia, we saw with our own eyes, one of our Kenyan person being deported because he's in politics.
Yeah.
Data games being played and the system working. That system worked and he was deported and he has not been able to get in Kenya.
Yeah.
Because you did not sign, I don't know. So no matter, even if there is dual, there is always that fine lines.
Yeah.
So everything for us in diaspora and going to run for office in Kenya, and let me talk about Kenya because I saw as if Nigeria is easy. Let me say, going back even to do business, I have seen people live here and go start like a dialysis machine in a certain village. And before you know it, the government comes like Josine said, this is wrong, you did not sign this, you are not supposed to do this. And before you know it, that they crumble that business. And the dialysis was helping the community. So
yeah.
I don't know what we can do. And I think as we are addressing this, we're gonna come to a point whereby we will get it. Somebody will come with an answer of Africa, how we can help them here. We are given so many things, computers. Like now I have seen in One Voice, where they are educating children, buying computer. But before you know it, someone in the government will run that one down because that's what they do.
Yeah.
But me, I am thinking the answer as I finish, Lydia, is one thing. You see the way we are coming together as one voice?
Yeah.
Every organization, a lot of organization, you with your organization, you have 15,000 people coming. You have 100 people coming. We come in as one voice and speak from one platform. If we want to address the government, we address it from one voice. People from London, people from Germany, France, all the diasporans, we are speaking in one voice. The government will listen. Because right now it is not individual. It is not like me with my own, I have my own organization. Oh, we are called Kwitu, we want this. We go to their embassy, we want this and this. Another one comes, oh, we are called Kainad, or we are building this, come here. No. If we come with one umbrella that is really designed, talk from one voice, I think something can change. But I don't know how we can change Africa, honestly, because we have those people that are cruel and ready to shed blood.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Can I have a quick question?
Yeah.
A very quick one. Very, very valid points has been spoken by Karen there. Do we have the Hague just for political genocide and we don't have it for these kind of things when somebody's purposely blocking development for their own political gain, for their political stupidness? It's not even political gain.
And that's why I think
I can answer that.
yeah.
I can as well.
Okay. To be sincere, you know, like I said, if you remember, I was talking about they see us as cash cows from diasporans, and not only see us as cash cows. The other thing is, once you come there and you bring your idea, they will actually tell you, yes, we are ready for it. You bring it in and blah, blah, blah. Then after a couple of months, they would find a way to actually shut you off so that they can continue with that idea that you brought. I have taken so many projects back home, but somebody there will commandeer that project. Why do you think that happened? You can't explain it. So what you say now, Yes. Whatever what you say now, it's not going to make any difference. That's our engineer, isn't it? Yeah. Engineer, I'm telling you, we cannot have that happen. You said we have Hague. Why can't we have the same thing happening here? It's not going to work because this is individual. This is individual problem back home.
In that case,
and let me say something as well.
It's
Let me say something as well. For us to have the Hague and the representative in the Hague, there must be somebody to report it to the Hague. Those people who are supposed to report it to the Hague are people who are blocking us because they're the ones doing it. So how can it go to the Hague unless we have the right, us as the community, writing to the Hague and posting those things? Those people, there's a ministry and telling it. The people, those are the culprits who are pushing us down. Can they take it to the Hague? They know the results of the Hague, so they're not going to take it anywhere.
Exactly. That's why I said. That's why I said. That's why I said we are in the digital age. They are in the analog age, and they will not. They don't want us to change it, because if they change it, we bring in technology into politics or the running of Africa, things are going to change because they can't hide anymore.
Now, it's going to be a very hard thing, even to try and report something, because like if you look at Hague, it does not take those domestic little things that we are talking about. Like now there is somebody here saying a CEO went to Nairobi, a learned person who is trying to change the hospital to become like the way we see it here. But before you know it, they're already digging him down and he's out. It is African itself which becomes harder to help. Not us in diaspora. We can open it. We can open our hands. Our ambassadors are here. They're in diaspora themselves. But they are not even willing to step in and help us. It has to start from there, the embassies.
But the embassies are the government, so you can't start from there. You can start from us because they are the government. So whatever the government are doing, they're behind it because they are one.
Of course.
The government has to support it. The embassy has to support these organizations.
So
there's one lady who's been quiet, and I would like to hear her comment. Stephanie is helping diaspora move around. Now, if that's a concern and that's allowed to carry on, that's the one that gives us fear.
Yeah. So before,
how do we go about that? How do we get over that line?
Yeah. Before Stephanie comes in, I'll let Stephanie come in. I just wanted to say something about collectively. There's power in collectively, and that is why now they always say that there's always a time that things start. And this is the time that we've started with this forum, and we've seen a lot of development from this forum, because we've had people calling us all the way from Kenya and telling us, stop what you're doing, which means we're being heard and we're being seen. So this is just the beginning of everything. But we cannot be heard, just like Karen said. When we have so many different branches, this person is going to complain. We need to have different branches by one route. So if that one route is the one that has a voice to talk on our behalf, then we can go somewhere and we can be heard. And that is why One Voice Consortium, we have One Voice Consortium, which allows every organization to come under, come with your own objectives and your own aims. They're not going to disturb what your aims are and your objectives, but they want to have us under one umbrella, so that if, let's say, Excellency is going to Nigeria to vote or to stand for governorship, or somebody is going to Kenya or Zimbabwe or Uganda, it doesn't matter where you're going, you have one voice that is backing you. So if we as diaspora, we are all under this one voice. And this one voice right now we're talking, they have over 100,000 individuals and over 40 organizations. So if we have one voice that is following the Excellency in Nigeria and saying, we are here, they'll fear us, because just in Kenya alone, we have more than 3.5 million diaspora. That is only Kenya. In Africa, we have more than 52 different countries. So if all these countries, all the diaspora, we are together under one umbrella, they will have no choice but to listen to us. And that is why One Voice Consortium, that's when One Voice Consortium comes in. And also there's a lot of comments. There are people who have written something on Facebook. We have to make sure that we talk to them as well. So we acknowledge their presence. So I'm just going to read some few things on Facebook as well. And Facebook, thank you very much for everybody who is watching. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you very much. I just want to say, please, again, share. We have 79 shares already, but we have to share more. We need more. We have 79 so far. And thank you so much for everybody who have shared, commented, and liked as well. And your views as well are very, very important. So someone said, Karen was a CEO. Okay, yeah, somebody wrote about the CEO that went to a CEO of Nairobi Hospital who came from diaspora, who had the very good intention of changing that hospital, but he was unceremoniously removed. The diaspora was silent. They didn't say anything. But I agree with you on unity. Kwanzaa, all diaspora need to condemn our embassies in Wholesome. So this is so funny because I've not even seen this, but Karen has spoken about the embassies as well. Embassy and government, they're the same thing. They will not come on our side. We as diaspora who are outside the government, we should join hands together, be in one voice, and now go to Africa and speak under one voice. And someone said, a good example of taking what we learned from the diaspora back to Africa is what President Kagame has done with the economy of Rwanda. I cannot speak of his political strategies. However, we can learn something from him and respect how he has transformed the Rwandan economy. And also I would say that we have people who have commented as well, and they have their views on Facebook. So I've tagged every single person in the panelist. So it's very important to just go and see what they're saying. And thank you so much, Karen, that Karen has gone there already and tried to answer a lot of people there who are talking. So many things have been answered. And somebody said tribalism made Native Africans lose the whole of North Africa, River Nile, etc. And somebody also spoke about, this is Thomas Alois Philip as well. Somebody said, I concur with Thomas Arunga. Some of the folks here in the diaspora are also participating in corruption in Kenya. Of course, stroke Africa, when you're talking about Kenya, everything that happens in Kenya happens in Africa. I'm getting tired of idle talk. Yeah, so somebody say that. Attitude is more important than academic only. Uruto Huru. I'm sure everybody here knows what Uruto Huru means, even though you're not from Kenya. But we have Uhuru as our president. We have Ruto as our vice president. And Uruto Huru are young and educated, but look at the corruption back home. So it's not about age because they're young and educated and they're as corrupt as it comes. Steve Nash Ozono is correct. Africa can benefit from the scholarship in diaspora. May it be the children of the slaves or the recent immigrants. But one thing universities have taught us here is called innovation. We can modify anything. Our names are featured in Japan, UK, but not home. I envy the Jew and their desire for a secure homeland. Oh dear Africa. Okay, wow, this is long. Things can be done, but we seem to underestimate what we are facing. Justine Ibrahim's just touched the left chamber of my heart. And of course, they murdered Sankara. True, the issue of Africa is the false sense of democracy, the love of foreign system. Anything foreign is love. Anything local frowned upon. Scotch whiskey. We all know what Scotch whiskey is. Scotch whiskey sells more than Muratina. So people don't know Muratina. Muratina is the local brew. Changa, the local apatishi, or whatever I'll say. So they say Scottish whiskey will sell more than Muratina. I call upon Africans to of good intention to start thinking of strategies of Che Guevara to emancipate the land. So there's a lot of comments there and just people's views, really. Thank you very much, everybody on Facebook. Please, again, like I said, comment, share, and like. Thank you very much. Wow, okay. Thank you very much. So now I'm just going to open because I have all my participants that have gone again and said what their view, their point was. But I'll just open the floor now. If anybody has something to say in regards of either what I read from Facebook that people are talking about, or anything else that you want to add on, or you want to just answer somebody's views, please.
Yeah, I don't mind to. I
Yeah.
don't mind to come in first if you guys don't mind.
Somebody's actually watching from South Africa,
All right.
Kenya, I'm sending love from South Africa. Africa must unite. Somebody said Africa kills its own children. Very sad. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go on.
Yeah. So I would like to come in there. I have 2 points here. I actually jot down. One was the doctor, and the other one is was there? Yeah, about the whiskey thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, in regards to the doctor one that came to Africa, his dream was actually to make changes.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to actually say why are we not concerned? Where are the diaspora? Because the person that wrote that said, "Oh, where are the diaspora?" So the thing about that is the diaspora. If you are being given an employment and a political position, if you've been given a political position or you're being appointed, you know that you can be removed at any time. It happens here in UK, it happens in America and everywhere. Look at Trump. He can employ you today and sack you the next day. So if that doctor was actually putting to actually come in and change the hospital and he was not given the opportunity to do that, I don't see any reason why the diaspora will come and be fighting for him. The only thing we will do is to make sure to say, oh, we put that as a footnote in case we are about to talk about the governor or the president of that country. We can bring up all these issues that they've done wrong, right? Because there's a gentleman there that was supposed to actually come and effect change, and he was ignored and he was removed. That, I think, that's the only thing to do. Then the other thing is whiskey. We're talking about our people value the foreign whiskey than the local whiskey. Of course, the reason why they value the foreign whiskey is because the whiskey has been branded properly. Because at the end of the day, before we start drinking whiskey in Nigeria, we're drinking ogogoro, we're drinking the brew. It is even 100%. That means 100%, and some has been diluted. So if we brand that local brew properly and sell it to the people and advertise it, the problem we are having is all Africans, we start a business. I see all of them here. I do apps for people. I do a lot of new things for people here, develop website and all that. But all they do is go back home and be praying. They don't believe in the fact and reality of life. They only believe in fate. Look, in Europe here, if I develop a whiskey, yes, what I'll be thinking of is how to advertise my whiskey, brand my whiskey, market my whiskey. But in Africa, if they have a brew, all they want to do is to sell it to their locals and don't even think about spending money. All they do is pray and think the prayer will bring new customers. No, brand it, advertise it, market it properly. Then you will see the day of light. It will even be exported to other countries. That's my take, though.
Okay, so I think what we're lacking here as well with African stuff is packaging, branding, and marketing.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me come in on what a little I know about that in Kenya. Okay, like when we talk about Muratina is a Kikuyu brew which was just made with honey and some other things. However, why they are not even given a chance to move on, because what you have seen happen like in Central Province is people abuse that privilege. You find them putting all this sort so that people can get drunk quickly, all this illegal substance for people to get drunk quickly. And that is where you find like people are dying after drinking, some are getting brined. And I think that's where the government stepped in, because there are some who have branded and they sell, but still it isn't, let me say like what they say here is FDA approved. It cannot pass. It cannot pass because of the way they are doing it. But I think if they are educated to do the right way, they can sell their own alcohol.
All right, thank you. So I know I wanted to give chance to Stephanie to say something, but I know Josephine was trying to say something, but she's muted. Okay, yeah.
I'm here. Right. Yeah. As Karen was just saying, yes, they put something into it so that they get drunk quickly. It's just because of the economy. They can't afford to put all the ingredients in it. That's why they need the shortcut, because everybody wants to get drunk, not because of they want to get drunk, but they want to try and forget the problems they're having. Some people, they drink, you look at them, you see that this person is quite educated, he can do something, but because of the economy, he can't do nothing, he can't change anything because there's nothing. They have completely nothing, everything is gone. Now I come back to faith. Yes, people say we could pray, we could do everything, we are prayerful, we are prayer warriors, but prayer without action doesn't work. You can pray and pray and pray 1,000 times, but without action, it's not gonna work. All what is implemented into the system can just disappear because you are not acting. You are not branding it, you are not marketing it, and you think prayer would work for you. It won't work. So let's have the faith with action so that we change the way we live, as well as continue to look on the transparency side. Whatever we're going to do, let's go there with our eyes open and knowing exactly that there are things that could cause a hindrance to what you are planning. So you've got to have plan A and plan B. I've seen people who have migrated back home to say, I'm going back to Africa. Oh, I'll see you. They pack everything. They come back here again after 3-4 years and start again because all what they went with disappeared in the thin air. Just because they were not hands-on, or they were hands-on, but somehow someone in the system, someone in the government, somebody within that system has just taken what you have gathered together. So we just had to be very, very careful. We have to employ people who we know they've got the capability of running the business, and yourself, you need to have the knowledge and the know-how of what you're doing. Don't even go there and do it all alone. Again, it will just disappear in the thin air. Before you know it, we see you back in 2 years and you've got nothing. After, when you left with so much, and you told us you've started a transport business, you've got businesses running, you've got a big farm with so many chickens, but everything has gone. It will go in thin air if you're not careful. So I just say to all the diasporans, let's help, let's do it, let's do the action, one Africa, one us, but be very, very careful with the open eye and open ears. Otherwise, it's gonna go just like that and you come back again. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, because of time, I'm just going to read some questions I want you to answer, and then when you're pondering the answers, I'll go to Stephanie, and Stephanie will talk more about what Engineer Instabel spoke about. So first, I'll go to Engineer. Just write it down, and then you answer it later. Somebody said, I just want you to answer this question for the person. Somebody said, I think we should stop following our leaders and follow our strength, give positive to right people, whether politically or socially? What would you answer to that question? That's the question someone asked. And then this one I want, because you're now Kenyans, Karen and Brenda, I want you to answer this. Someone said, can the panelists comment on diaspora voting rights? For instance, over the last 3 Kenyan election years, there have been promises that diaspora will be given a chance to vote. However, this has never been. Do we really have a voice? So Brenda and Karen, you're going to answer this for us later. Not now, Karen, not now, because I can see you're ready to answer now. And then somebody said, Lydia, let us be honest. This is for Excellency. Let us be honest, the African diaspora has never positively impacted any country politically. I'm not sure about the politics of Nandi Kanu. Steve Nash Ozono can expand on that. But the point I'm making is we seem to let those who go back home to fight in isolation. So that will be your question. And that will be
Lydia, sorry, Lydia. Could you go back, say, stop following our leaders, but do what?
Yes, stop following. Okay, very easy. We need to stop following our leaders, but follow our strength. Give positive to right people, whether politically or socially. And then Karen and Brenda, you got your question about the vote. And then the Excellency Steve Nash, you got yours as well. Thank you. Okay, so now I'll go to Stephanie, who have been waiting patiently.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can engineer just repeat the question so that I'm sure of my understanding of the question?
Now, my question was on fear.
Fear, okay.
Fear, because of like Karen has talked about the projects that majority of diasporas go down, introduce, started, but politically, just somebody will find a way somewhere to crush it. They'll just say it's not right here, it's not right there. Now that's, to me, it will bring to me that, do I want to spend 2 years of going to waste my resources that I've got now, lose them, and then come back to start from scratch again? So it's that fear. How do we cross over it?
Okay, well, I think one clue would be to strengthen our local networks. I think it's Mr. Nash that mentioned it, that we have people that have already moved back. We need to connect people that have already moved back to people that want to move back, to people that are thinking about moving back. So I believe that building and strengthening our local networks is really important, because we can also share information. When you have people that already moved back, they can share information with those who want to move back and let them know how are things there. Let them know about their project, give them information. I think some of the panelists say that we have to research. And I think one way also to research is to ask people that are already in the country, how did you do this? How did you do that? What were your challenges? So people could be better prepared. So to me, fear is something that you can only overcome through information. I think the most information you got, it also helps you overcome fear when it comes to projects for entrepreneurs, for example. Now, I believe there is a difference between someone moving back to create a company and someone moving back to work for a certain company. Because the one moving back to work for a certain company may not have the same challenges as the one moving back to build a company. So maybe fear would be more important for the one who is moving back to create a company than the one moving back to work for a company and who has already secured a job there. So I don't know if I'm really answering your question, but to me, information is key. Information is always the first step. And then you also have network. It's so important to have a network, to have people that you can lean on, people that can give you insights about what is going on the ground, so that you could also prepare yourself.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so I'll go to Engineer instead to answer that question.
Right, okay. The question was, how do we stop following the leaders that we've got at the moment and follow our own strength?
Yeah.
I think it's pretty straightforward, and this will sum up pretty much our conversation for the past an hour and a half or a little bit more. 5 very good points that I can summarize the meeting on, and this will answer the questions that's been asked. The very first one that pretty much everybody has touched upon is trust. If we have trust in our own strength, which we know we've been here and we've been competent enough to survive in a Western world, I'm sure we can transfer the same skills back home with our own people, to trust ourselves and say, listen, for instance, in here, we've got a panel of, let's say, 10 people. One of us can go represent the group and say, listen, okay, I will go do this for the group. And you put your trust on me and I will represent the group. Trust follows contractual agreements. I don't think there's a world now where people don't agree and put the signatures down, and tomorrow they're accountable for their signatures. They're accountable for their policies that we've signed on. So trust is the very first one. And the second one is when things are done transparently. If we all know where things are, what stage of the project is at, what are the challenges, what are the good things on it, what are the positive and negatives, and how we work about them. So transparency will help a lot, yes, to strengthen more, to add more to our strength. Secure systems can be developed, can be copied from what we know we can use here. We're not going to use exactly the same one back home, but we can twist it to suit the African market or our own needs back in Africa. We're not going to transfer it as it is, but we will add and minus 1 or 2 things in it. We'll add the ones that we need, and we'll remove the ones that are not useful to us. Once the secure systems are in place, from the very beginning, the first point was trust, and the signature is down. I'll go back to the accountability as the 4th point. People need to be accountable. If you've signed up to go represent somebody on a development of multiple flats or multiple, developments, you've got to deliver. Failure to deliver has to have a consequence on it. Like I said earlier, if my uncle asks me, I don't have a school fees for my child, I'll probably contribute to it. But if my uncle takes money from my bricks of my project, of my property, and pays school fees, that's a crime on its own. He's transferred the funds to his own use without my consent. That accountability has to be there at all levels. And the final one, which is which needs us more, it's a one voice, it's a togetherness.
Yeah.
Yes, we've said diasporas in America, 350 of them, they've done a very good job. But they're in America, we're in Europe, we're in London, we're in, Amsterdam. We need to stand together and say, listen, there's one voice for us. And if we choose to invest, if we choose to move back, this voice looks after us. If we get mistreated back home just because we chose to look for life elsewhere, we want to have a certain power to say, listen, these people are watching me, or these people are watching our development. If I don't step over something that's going to make me fall off, somebody will be there to say, no, you've done the right thing, but there is something behind what you're trying to do. This voice, one power, one voice, needs to be developed from us where we are. And that will be my final point on it.
Thank you very much. So I'm sure Gabriel Wachira, you had what Dr. Inskada spoke about. So thank you very much, Gabriel, for your question. Thank you. Okay, so I'll go to Brenda first before Karen.
Thank you so much for your views. What I wanted to just point out real quick is, it's, as an entrepreneur, it's very difficult to entrepreneur around bad policies in Africa. That's how I felt forever. And if we fix that part, like having some of us join politics and improve on the policies here. That in return will help us with the voting rights as diasporans. The issue we have, of course, is they're going to say we don't have money to send to the embassies in the US, in the UK, to allow voting. And of course, a lot of manipulation happens during voting. Okay, depending on the country. So of course, for voting to happen in the diaspora, there has to be a change in policy, period. Can you guys hear me? Sorry, my Wi-Fi is acting a bit.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So for this to happen in the diaspora, for them to say we're sending money, we're dispatching agents to go to the US to allow voting to happen, we have to have a completely new policy change within Africa to apply to every country, so everyone can be allowed to at least vote and participate locally. For now, as you can see, a lot of countries are struggling, diasporans are struggling to participate, to help things change. So things keep happening every year and every year. Nothing is changing. So that's all I can say for that.
Okay. Thank you very much, Brenda, for that. Karen, do you want to add on to what Brenda said in regards to that?
I can add something a little bit to Eileen, who asked why, if we cannot address that question. Number one, all what has happened so far that I know is we have been lied to. I remember when our president came here before the 2018 election, he promised, and I was there, he promised that we are going to be able to vote. But when he went there, everything was closed down. So I don't think even 2022, although I know we have people who are pushing it, because the other time they said, if you want to vote, you have to go to the embassy. You know, you have to leave your state and go all the way to Washington to vote. And if you're in California, you can vote there. So it's going to be harder even for the diasporian, like those who are in America, to be able to vote if they choose just one voting location. As Brenda said, policies is the problem. And they will tell you they don't have the finances to be in every state, you know, for you to be able to vote. So diasporans to vote is going to be something that is tough. Do I say it's not going to be addressed? We have people pushing it right now. So let's see what happens in 2022. But you can see it yourself. If they have not even allowed us to take the vote right now, I don't know how it's going to happen.
And 2022 is just tomorrow, we'd say. So thank you very much, Eileen. I hope that answered your questions. We were lied to, we've been lied to, they're still lying to us anyway. And we don't know how it's going to happen, because I remember even when the president came to this country, he did say the same thing, that they're going to look into that. And that is how many years ago, and up to now, they've not looked into it. So we are still here waiting. But again, we come back to one voice, because if we have one voice that is addressing these issues, then they are going to hear us. And that is what it takes, one voice. And that's why we have One Voice Consortium. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, His Excellency Steve Nash.
Well, I would actually, before I go into the issue of diaspora, if it's not impacting Africa, is that the question the person asks, isn't it? That it's not impacting Africa, you know. I will totally disagree with that person, because
they say the African diaspora has never positively impacted any country politically. I'm not sure about the politics of Nandi Kanu, but Steve Nash can expand on that. But the point I'm making is we seem to let those who go back home to fight in isolation.
Okay.
So the African diaspora has never positively impacted any country politically.
It's a very good question, but I would sincerely disagree with that person, because I think we have the diaspora has politically, socially, materially, has business wisely impacted Africa. You know, I made an example of Akon, and there's so many other people, even me myself, I've impacted Africa, my own country, in a very, very enormous ways. You know, I have done so much to alleviate a lot of stuff, problems, and set up businesses for people, advise people and all that. So I totally will disagree. I know people in this panel will agree with me that that is not the right question to ask. You know, I should expect that we'll say what we have been contributing to Africa. Why has there not been an impact? You know, then that brings us to whatever we try to introduce, like one or two people said in the panel, they don't trust us, and all they want to do is to eat the money. I mean, I was listening to an engineer, and he was saying, if you ask me to pay your school fees, I will pay it. But if you take the money from my project, then you have stolen that money. So this is the problem. So if we remit, bring in ideas, send money to Africa, and these people, they are eating up all the money, then it's a problem. We expect that you send 100% of your amount, say 100 pounds to Nigeria. You expect them to use 99 pounds and eat £1. Yes, but these people will turn around, use £1 and eat 99 pounds. This is the problem we are facing. So I would totally disagree. In fact, a lot of people that go to Nigeria, they work in isolation because they've not done their research. We picked on this discussion today, isn't it? And if they really go back and do that research, find out from people that are there, find out from people that have gone, find out from people that have succeeded, then it will be much more, a playing field for them to actually walk carefully and do their business carefully. So I will also say those people that think they come to Africa and see themselves in isolation, it's their fault because they've not actually done the research that they need to do. Then in terms of diaspora voting, I would like to touch on that as well because I'm part of the political atmosphere sphere. There's a lot going on. So many politicians in Africa will come to abroad and tell in the embassy, tell everyone that, look, we're going to set up diaspora vote and all that. But when they go back, they will be laughing at us, be thinking, who are these people? We think they will come and make change, in Africa. They are just there talking and sitting. They don't want to come here and put their boots on the ground. This is why I said we need to actually go back and be part of it, or else we will be part of the problem. You understand me? So that I would say, yeah. And one other thing is transparency and accountability, which engineer said. We need to, as one voice, yes, the only way that the one voice can actually be an impact is to actually lay out what they need to actually do here first. Then two, what is the problem in Africa, the barriers they need to break down in order for the two what's it called again? One voice?
Yeah, one voice
Yeah.
Consortium.
For one voice big consortium to be able to work is, first of all, do the due diligence here in Europe before going to Africa, and now see what is happening there, then marry the two together. That's me as a BA. I'm a BA analyst. And if you don't put down all this stuff, it's not going to work. That's it for me.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And just going back to what His Excellency Steve Nash has said, when they come here, the politicians, and they go back and they laugh at us, it's totally true, because there's a time we had an IEBC, that's Independence Electronic Boundaries Commission in Kenya. And because now he's not a chairman anymore, so he's not for the government, but he did say something, and I was shocked because I didn't even see it like that. He said, because we do send the remittance, we say, oh, but we send a lot of remittance. It's even bigger than agriculture, especially in Kenya. But he said the reason is because when we send the money, the government, it doesn't go straight to the government's pocket. So they don't care how much money we send. We make noise that we are sending money. They don't see it like that. But we're thinking, if we are sending 200 billion to Africa or to Kenya, that when the that tax is so much money, and the tax is going to their pocket anyway. So what are they talking about? And he said, it's because of that. That was one, because the money is not going straight to the government. And two, because we don't have one voice. So they'll go back and laugh at us. And they say, what are they talking about? They'll never listen to us. Even when we're talking about remittance, they don't care about our remittance because it does not go to their pocket straight. So that's not the problem. Even though it's going to the development of Africa, or Kenya, or Nigeria, Zimbabwe, Ghana, but they don't see it as something that's benefiting them. And that's where we have a lot of people who have gone to Africa. They've taken projects. Somebody was talking about wheelchairs. They had, I don't know how many wheelchairs they were given for free to take to Kenya. At the port, they refuse to let it go because they want their cut. Mimi yangu ni gani, kidogo, kidogo. They want their cut. But the person didn't have the cut because the wheelchair was free. So the wheelchair had to be taken back to the UK. So those are the problems that we are facing. But because we don't have a voice, but if we have one voice collectively, then things like that can actually happen. Okay. So now I'm going to just give you 1 minute, everybody, to say something, just 1 minute, everybody, to close up. I know a doctor wants to say something, but you say it in your 1 minute I'm going to give you. So I'll start with Brenda. Brenda, 1 minute, because we're done now. So your 1 minute.
Okay, so all I can say is we all come together, diasporans. Again, like you said, let's have one strong voice. And we may not be heard right now, but if we keep saying it over and over again, it's going to stick and it's going to be heard. And I promise, I think we'll see change. But we also have to act as people. Come to the ground, get your groundwork done. Like Stevie said, His Excellency said, you have to do your research. I did not do. I just came in and I had to work to get where I got to. So do your research, come home, get things done, be on the ground, be proactive, not reactionary, be proactive. And I promise you things will work.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Brenda. Okay, Stephanie, please. 1 minute. Stephanie, thank you.
I do agree with Brenda and what she said. I think it's really great to all come together today as African and also speak about diaspora and about the impact that we can have back home. As she said, do your research, and I would just also add, get in touch with the right people, because sometimes we do something and we forget that there may be some people that have done it in the past. So it matters to do some research and check if maybe someone did it in the past in that specific country, and get in touch with that person or get in touch with a network of people that have moved back to this country to get information. Because whatever you do, I believe the success depends on the level of information that you have. And sometimes we fail because we don't have the information or the right information. So do your research, get the information, and get in touch with the right people, and it shall be well.
Thank you very much. And then I'll go to engineer. Engineer.
I'll sum it up by saying with good exposure, we've come to these Western cultures to learn, to be a part of their work, furnitures. Yes, we've been used as furnitures, but in the way, on the process, we've learned and we've gained a lot of knowledge. So we've got the means and we've got the intention. Let's just sit together and move on. Let's put the fear away. I've had fears for 15 years, and I think I wouldn't wait until to get to doctor's age, because I think doctor has even a worse fear than I've got. So COVID is here now. Europe is somehow on a standstill just because of it. Africa, it's there, but for some reason people get shook up, but they survive and move on, and the economies are still moving. So possibly could be the right time. And I'll stop on there. Say let's just decide and take a step.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'll go to His Excellency Steve Nash.
Oh, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to be part of this platform today, this Zoom contribution. To be sincere, I have three things that actually guides my principle in life. I'm a tax getter, and I hope that people will always do the same thing as well. I believe in three pillars. That is fact, faith, and reality. I do not discard one of these. If you have the fact of anything in life and you add your faith and be realistic, you will definitely achieve whatever you want to achieve in life. So to be sincere, you know, these challenges will come. And I would also urge all of us in diaspora, because we want to make sure we have an impact. We don't want people to tell us that we don't make any impact. And the only way to do it is to have one voice. And for that one voice to actually be active, so that we can activate certain things in life that are very real and reasonable for us, we need to actually set up our goals here in Europe, then find out the goals down there in Africa and marry the two together. And that's the only way. If we don't do that and we keep thinking that we will go back and effect change or impose our own change on people there, it's not going to work. So please, thank you very much and have a blessed 2021.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'll go to Dr. Justine. Thank you, Dr. Justine. Doctor, oh, you're muted. You're muted, Doctor. Yeah.
So sorry about that. I just want to say thank you to everybody who has taken part in this debate this afternoon. And thank you so much, Lydia, for putting me through. It's an eye-opener debate and I've learned a lot, but let's all work with one voice, as everybody is saying, and we need to do more research. And I pray that our leaders will allow democracy so that we can start moving on with some of these things. And I pray that as we work with faith, we need to keep on doing the faith and action together so that we move on. Africa is rich. Africa has got everything. As long as we put our minds on it and hands on, work. Stay there so that you can see the development, and work with the people who are there already, like my sister who is doing it hands-on and she's there and it's working for her. So I think we need to involve ourselves with people who are already there to know what works and what doesn't work. So I believe in Africa. I strongly believe that everything back home, though people still think we don't contribute much, we do. We have that little knowledge we've acquired. And if we put it into practice, definitely Africa will be back into the Africa we know. So let's keep on doing the right thing, and with an open mind, we will get there one day. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so I'll go to Karen.
Thank you so much for everybody that has tuned in today. Thank you for listening to us. I want to finish by learning with one word that has been put on the comments, that if they can be able, the government can be able to track our money, they can be able to track our votes. And I'm gonna agree with that. And I think that is a point we can give them. All what I'm saying is the way we have now come together as one voice. I'm believing like before even the middle of this year, we'll have come up with a plan whereby we can be able to reach the government of Kenya. Now I'm talking about Kenya in one voice. And we will see if, even if we tell them that all the strategies that are there, all the technologies that are there, we can be able to do that. People like us can work with them here. I had Mheshimiwa say, His Excellency say that he's a BI analyst, I'm a BI developer on this side. So we can be able to do things intelligently, and those votes can be counted, and we can succeed in Africa and also in the business world. Let us be in one voice. And that is the one thing I would just emphasize. We all come to in one umbrella and speak in one voice, and we will succeed no matter what. Thank you so much, Radia, for doing this.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, I'll say again, thank you. This was very, very interesting. I've learned a lot. I learn a lot every day because every panelist we have, they have their own ideologies, and all ideologies, I learn from them all the time. So I'm sure by the time I finish, I have so much knowledge than all of you because I've taken knowledge from every single panelist on Saturday, and I grow every day and I learn every day. So I'll say thank you, Stephanie, Asare. Thank you very much, Brenda.
Thank you too.
Thank you very much, Karen. Thank you very much, His Excellency, Steve Nash.
Thank you very much. Thank you
Thanks
very much
to
for having me.
everyone.
Yeah, and thank you very much, Engineer Insada. And thank you very much, Dr. Josine. Josine, we actually went to Morocco with her to receive an award. So she's somebody that I've known for quite a long time. We went to Morocco together. And it was just women. So you can imagine, yeah? I won't say a lot. It was just women. So you can imagine. And actually, two ladies that we went with, two ladies have actually passed on because they had cancer. And they were actually told that they shouldn't travel. But they said, you know, if I'm going to die, let me just enjoy what I have. Yeah, I'll still die. So they actually came. And even after that, they didn't die for almost 1 year or something, 1 year before they passed on. So two of the ladies, it was a very interesting, holiday, I would say. Yeah, we enjoyed ourselves. So thank you very much. So I'll say happy 2021. I pray for everybody a year of prosperity, success, focus, goals achieved, health restored. I pray for healing, both physically, spiritually, economically, financially, and mostly mentally. Because that's where everything starts. Everything starts from the mind. So mentally as well, I pray for healing. So thank you very much. And then when it comes to COVID as well, guys, COVID is real. COVID is real. COVID is real. No matter how you think, no matter how you feel, no matter your theory, but COVID is real. So we just have to just comply with the government guidelines. Social distancing, like right now, I'm social distance with all the panelists.
Oh, how come we're not wearing masks?
Don't, yeah, because I'm social distancing from you guys. And you have to wear your mask. You have to use sanitizers. You have to wash your hands, guys. So washing your hands, sanitizers, keep to the government guidelines. Today, we are actually talking with my family about, especially people in Kenya, some of them who do not just want to listen, and then they have to be beaten. And then when they're beaten, they complain. So if you don't want to be beaten, guys, beating people is not good, to be honest. To beat people, that I don't like the policy of beating people. But if you don't want to listen, and that's the only way to get you to listen, then they'll have to beat you. So if you don't want to be beaten, guys, please follow the rules. It's not good to be beaten, but follow the rules. If they say 10 o'clock, you're supposed to be home. Some people, that's when 10 o'clock, they're leaving to go and buy milk. Come on, common sense. You had the whole day.
But Lydia, listen, they're not going to beat people here. They will only arrest you. They will not beat you. So that's
in
the
this
difference.
country,
We need to bring this into our context, because I was interviewed in a TV station in Nigeria, and they were talking about police beating up people. What I was saying, the lady said, Oga, it's like you're too soft for this Nigerian thing. Or I said, no. I said, but if I don't bring my idea that I've learned from abroad, then what kind of change would you think I'm coming here to effect? Nothing.
Yeah. But remember, we also say that we cannot take what works in Europe 100%.
I know,
and imply it in Africa.
Yeah, but beating up somebody, you will injure that person.
That's what I'm saying. Beating up is bad, and I don't totally 100%. I don't agree with that policy. But there's a but. There are some people who just want to break the rule. They don't listen. But there are some.
Have you seen the beating up in India? Have you seen the way they beat up people in India?
I know, it's wrong. Horrible. It is wrong. It is totally wrong. Even the day they beat people in Mombasa, do you remember the first time this COVID came? And they were beating people in Mombasa, Brenda and Karen. I'm sure you can remember that. In Likoni.
That is why I don't want even to hear that I want to go back.
That was so bad.
The curfew is done. There's no more 10 p.m.
The curfew is still at 10 p.m. really. In Kenya. In Kenya, it's 10 p.m.
It's done as of yesterday. So.
Oh, there's no curfew anymore.
I just got a text message.
Hallelujah. Amen. So I'm coming to Kenya. That is what
arrest arrest and fine. Don't beat.
It's about going now somewhere.
That is why I didn't want to come to Kenya,
Right.
because I was thinking if they catch me on the road and they'll beat me and they'll break my leg, and then I won't have a leg to walk again. So I don't want that. Now there's no curfew. I can come to Kenya and easily gallivant until whatever time I want, right?
Congratulations, Thomas. Thomas is saying that he took a vaccine yesterday. Thomas Alunga.
Okay, somebody took a vaccine.
Yeah.
Wow, congratulations for that. Let him come back next week and tell us how he feels. Because for me, I'm waiting for people to tell me first before I can
Thomas,
take
come back so that we can know if we are going to shake.
Well, if I'm gonna take vaccine, I'll probably take the one from Sputnik V, not the Pfizer one, man.
No, I'm taking Madonna.
No, Madonna, no, that's not good. Sputnik V, I think Sputnik V is 95%. You know, it's much more better. We've not had any problem yet, and AstraZeneca is actually liaising with them, which is a good thing. You know, for once.
Yeah, let's hear from Thomas next week.
Yeah, let's wait from Thomas. Thomas say he has a sore arm, but we want to see
what
if
did he
by
take?
next
Is
week.
it Madonna or which one did he take?
Thomas, tell us which injection.
The Pfizer one or?
Tell us which you
Thomas, which one did you, and Nyambura, which one did you take? There's another one, Nyambura, or Pfizer.
Oh, I had Pfizer. Yeah, Pfizer. So come back next week and tell us if your arm is still sore, if it's still there.
And if the shaking is happening.
That's a joke. If you still have your arm intact, that's a joke.
Yeah.
But just come next week and tell us. Come next week and tell us, so we need to take it. Anyway, I'll say thank you very much, everybody. So I'll say thank you for people who are watching on Facebook. Thank you for everybody who shared. Thank you for everybody who commented. Thank you for your likes. And again, we're here tomorrow. Tomorrow is 6 o'clock, actually. Tomorrow is 6 o'clock and not 5 like today. So tomorrow we are talking about domestic violence. And this is a topic that can never finish, because we have domestic violence men, domestic violence women, domestic violence children, domestic violence parents. It's a big topic. But tomorrow we're talking about domestic violence. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. But before we finish, I think Dr. Josine want to say something?
No, I just wanted to say, oh, thank you, my topic.
Oh yeah, that's your topic. I know that's your topic, because she's gone, Josine has gone through a very bad domestic violence, and she's going to share that with us another day as well.
Don't forget, I'm the director of domestic violence in Kwitu.
Wow.
Right.
Oh yes.
I'm gonna correct this.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about this. Domestic violence is going to be a topic that carries on. So thank you very much, everybody on Facebook. See you tomorrow and also next week. Every weekend, Saturday and Sunday, we're here. So thank you very much. And my panelists, you can stay there for now. But Facebook, love you guys. Thank you very much.
At World Remit, we understand what the journey is about, how it can sometimes take a little distance to bring us a little closer together. With ways to save more when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.